Hey Rye Guy, here's some tricks with CAGED, that CAGED concept. So like one thing I used to do a lot to kind of sort of learn how to actually use this is like take a chord. So I'll just do C major chord, and you could be like, you could think, how can you get to this next shape of CAGED? Because this is the C shape, here's the A shape. And you come up with ways to get over there from over here. So you could try this. See, I'm strumming C, because normally it's like kind of clunky to be like this is kind of what I meant. It's kind of stupid. I mean, that's not very practical to go through all the shapes like that. But this is more practical to make up riffs. And then when you're playing like down here, you could be like, so try strumming C. And put both these fingers on right here. And you slide over from 3/3. I like to do this trick. So I'm just strumming like C. You can slide with those fingers or those, and then you go this little riff. I like to alternate the bass here. Sounds kind of country. So there's a good trick to go from this C over to this shape. Or you could maybe slide all three notes. So or you could slide these two notes. So this might work better for like a picking thing, like. Alright, so you could like slide those. That's kind of a cool trick. Or sometimes what people do a lot is just the top notes. So you could be. So. So you could strum C. You could do this little. This is actually like a D minor. The next thing that's real common is like when you're going from this shape, people like to do this all the time. So we'll switch over to this shape now. This is the A shape in CAGED. This is C, A shape. It's all C major chord. This is the A shape. You could go. So what this is putting, this is the root note in the bass. This is the third. This is E. It's the same note as right here. But people do this all the time, like. So this is a good one to know. Because then if you're like doing some stuff like, you could work it into that. And I like to have my pinky here a lot. This is like a good chord to know, where you do 7th fret, 5, 5, 5, pinky on 8. So you could go. Other tricks going from this one to this one. I don't know, I like to do stuff like. I guess what I think about from here to here, is having access to the scale. So it starts to actually go over to the G shape. So this one, there's not that many tricks. It's kind of more slide into it. It's more about getting over to this one. So this is the most useful pattern, aside from, and this of course is super common, but this G pattern, this is kind of like clunky and useless, but having these three notes here, you have the major pentatonic scale like right on it, off this G pattern. So everybody knows this scale, so it's an easy one to remember. So you could be like, while you're barring, you have all these notes. So that's definitely kind of folky rock, bluesy sounding more when you do that. But you can make like indie sounding riffs or whatever you want using these ideas. Indie just tends to be more minimalist for the most part, or like a little quirky. So let's say you're over here, you do this trick, and you could hang out. You could do that kind of stuff, or you could also access the major scale here if you want to get away from that bluesier sound. So the major scale is, you could have this note in there too. So maybe you could be like, I don't like that. That's kind of cool. Then C major 7, sliding up to this inversion. Or if you want to use the top notes, you go. Just kind of got to explore. The next shape moving up is this one, the E shape. So as far we had C, A, the A shape, the G shape, the E shape. This one, like again, this is kind of clunky, but these three notes are what I first think to use. And I do this all the time. You could be like. This is a really bright shape. And people like to add their pinky here, right here too, or up high. So to get there, I mean, it's pretty easy. You just think about that shape and you slide into it. So you're like down here. Sometimes I add this note in there, or sometimes you can just do this shape. So this tends to be for more rhythm stuff versus making riffs. Or you can just do the top of it is useful to know, or the top two. So you could be like, whoops. And you can stretch out to get E. That's not a very bad stretch at all. Then the last shape, I just think about these two notes. You could slide all the way up there, but like if you're actually just trying to make up riffs using CAGED, those two are useful to be like. A lot of times I'll do like my pinky out there, like another whole step. So this is the D shape. Here's the whole thing, but this is not practical. Or this note. Or you can bar and get all three. So let me see if I can come up with something that would use all these shapes. You could start here. I don't really play blues music, but like a lot of times when I'm practicing, like for some reason that bluesier sound just kind of comes out of the major chords from pentatonic sound. So it's a good way to still learn the ideas. I tend to play more minimalist when I actually make up stuff, like. Maybe like. I'm still using the same concept. That's just the style I tend to play in. But when I learn stuff, I do this kind of. It's more fun to kind of get a lot of notes in there, what you're doing. So here would be like a whole example. You could go C, and you could go. So you could go C, and slide these two fingers. I would do this shape. No. Yeah, this would be good. So C, slide these two. This inversion. So watch, I'll do it closer. You got C. Slide these two notes to the A shape. Then this third finger from 5 to 7. Pinky on 8 while holding this down. Then slide into this E shape. You can do some noodling on that. And then these two fingers are going to slide up to 12 and 13. And then stretch out to 15. So the whole thing again. These are the kind of things, if you do them a lot, then when you start jamming with people, it's like, oh yeah, he's on C, so. Or if you want that more minimalist sound, you just pick little notes out of it. Like. But you know, like you can see it in your head. And like Modest Mouse, and you like them, they used to use like this shape a lot. And they would do a more. They do this kind of stuff. And then of course, like most songs aren't just single chords, so what you gotta start to do is start to mix in like the other chords. Like if you're doing F chord, you could be like on C for a while, and you're like F. See, there's the same trick. Go on F. Maybe you could go into this F. Here's the F. So maybe you get into this C. So I'm on this. That kind of stuff. So hopefully that was helpful. But yeah, just make up like a lot of things. Like think about this shape, slide into the next one, and kind of force yourself to come up with unique ways of doing it, either just on the lower strings, middle strings, the higher ones, and then maybe like trying to get riffs that somehow work between the two. Like the last thing I would say is like single note riffs that work between them can be cool to do. Like bass riffs or just up high, like kind of try to imagine single note stuff. So if that helps, I'm not sure exactly what you want to see with Caged, but that would be the next step in my mind once you understand where the chords are. And then the step after that is just really start to use it when you're soloing or making up stuff. Kind of develop a lot of the tricks you think are cool. Alright, see ya.